For starters, before we go into the details of what we saw in part 1, let's check some video clips. The first one is about the Stonehenge.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're floating in space.
Right, lads. Haven't done a video in a while since the world ended on the 10th of December 21st, but this is interesting. Stonehenge, England. Salisbury Plain, built by Stone Age man, 2700 BC. Or was it? This is the site, pre-construction, 1954. Here's a set of pictures showing the site getting built. The photos apparently come from Russia, from one of the KGB archives or something, but it's pretty interesting, and lots of interesting photos. I'll put a link to the address. Look, there they are, putting the capstones on, digging the trenches for putting the other ones in. A lot of work, a lot of people involved too. You'll see all the construction people, all the kids and all sorts of stuff, who's alive and what's going on. Guys are specking the stones before they put them into the ground. Now, I never heard any mention of Stonehenge in a Doomsday Book or anything like that. In fact, all I know about Stonehenge was that apparently, according to the Irish legend, it was stolen from Uisneach, which is the centre of Ireland, and it was taken out of England by Merlin the wizard, so that's all I know about it. But these photos look pretty authentic, and it'd be a hell of a job to stage manage them. A lot of work going on, so I don't know what the crack is anyway. See what you think. I'll put a link to the blog spot where they are, and anybody recognises anybody in the photos could verify whether they're true or not. How does Stonehenge get there? Built in 1954. Never heard it mentioned by Shakespeare or any of them other ones really. Like, does Chaucer mention it in the Canterbury Tales? You know what I mean? And you don't hear much really about Salisbury Plain or battles being fought around it or anything like that, and you'd think at a plain they would have battles, because that's where the Irish have their battles, in the plain of the Boyne, like. So there you are, load of crazy photos of Stonehenge. Check out the story. He must be alive somewhere. Who is he? He'd be 60 or 70 now. Right, thank you very much and good luck. One love, people get ready.
Let's start with the lintels. The heaviest one weighed 17.45 tons and the lightest one weighed 3.81 tons. The heaviest sarsen, the upright one, weighed 29.32 tons and the lightest one 4.87 tons. We saw in the video clip that the crane they used to lift these stones was a simple one. Not a massive, colossal impressive crane. Just simple plain one. So, what is so mysterious about the Stonehenge? In the next video we will see what one man can do. Let's have a look.
He believes in his technique, but he's had some setbacks in the past.
One day I got thrown over top of a block, and a couple times I had the blocks roll off the top and almost land on my feet. One time I knocked myself out cold on the concrete.
Now think for yourself what 20 men could do. Think what 100 or 1,000 men could do. Come on people, what is really so mysterious about the building of the pyramids? Now, the next video.
In September of 2002, our Geopolymer Institute crew cast massive imitation pyramid blocks. Or perhaps we should say genuine pyramid blocks. We used the same kind of earthen ingredients available to the ancient Egyptians 4,500 years ago. These massive blocks have the same chemical makeup and appearance as blocks of the Great Pyramid. The limestone we used consists of fossil shells called nummulites, like those in the Giza bedrock. Like in Giza, our French limestone is so loosely bound it doesn't require crushing. But unlike in Giza, it contains no kaolin clay. We heap the cement additives, lime, natron and kaolin clay, near the limestone.
The two components will react in the water and build in situ geological glue, which will then yield the hard geopolymeric agglomerated limestone.
We start making the cement by mixing sodium carbonate, found in Egyptian natron, and lime in 500 liters of water. We then add the kaolin, inherent to Giza limestone, and stir the mix with a wooden tool. We dump 1 ton of limestone rubble into the basin and mix it with the cement. Several days later, water has evaporated from the basin, so we remove the disaggregated limestone for making the block. Inspecting the mixture, 95% limestone aggregates and only 5% rock-making binder. Between 12 and 17% of water give it the consistency of wet sand. One squeezes the mixture with his hand and it keeps its shape. This batch will quickly gain strength. We do all of the work manually, forming a human chain carrying buckets from the mixing area to the mold. We pour the limestone concrete mixture in a mold and pack it down with a tool called a rammer. Compacting the material requires little effort. The packing operation encourages cohesion and the denser mixture takes on high strength from the initial curing phase. When the climate is warm and beautiful, our crew rapidly produces a re-agglomerated limestone that proved strong, dense and true to the plant's size and shape. The mold consists of small wooden boards, which can be reused many times for making other blocks. In this ideal weather, the whole process runs smoothly and is very simple. We remove the mold 4 hours later. The synthetic limestone looks like a natural stone. We observe no trace of wood grain. 4 blocks have already been made. Joseph Davidovits presents them. The 2 large blocks weighing up to 4.5 tons, containing most water, have given smoother surfaces. The 2 small blocks weighing up to 1.3 tons, the least wet, take on rougher surfaces.
When you look at the stones of the pyramid, this is what you see. You see either smooth blocks or very crude blocks. And we have replicated all these surfaces just by varying the amount of water, which depends on the climate, which depends on the weather.
Joints between blocks are also perfect. It will take 3 months for the stones to fully cure because of the climate of northern France. In 4,000 years, will future archaeologists insist that our imitation pyramid stones are natural limestone?
What nobody tells you, is that between each stone there is a thin layer of papyrus. What is the purpose of that papyrus layers? That is to separate the one stone from the other in the process of casting stones. That is why each stone is lined up with the other so accurately, so that there are no gaps between the stones. Wait, do not believe me yet. What about this one? Let's check the last video.
The pyramids. Stonehenge. The large sculptures of Easter Island. The Mayan pyramids. The 500-ton megaliths of Israel's Western Wall. How did the ancients move the massive stones from the quarry to the job site? Sculptor Mario Jason may have solved what has baffled archaeologists and mathematicians for eons. Man 6 feet tall. Stone 300 tons. How were they moved? Trees were cut. The trees were then bound together. Notches were cut in the stone. The trees were then inserted into the notches, and the legs were attached to the trees. The stone is lifted off the ground naturally. This minimizes the amount of energy used and lessens the amount of people required to move those heavy stones. Even moving heavy stones uphill or downhill with this system would be much easier because there is less surface area touching the ground than having the stones drag on wood rollers, where the roads aren't perfect or even. For small stones weighing 2 to 10 tons, a cradle made out of wood with the same type of movement would do much better than the old system of pulling, especially when going up a ramp.
If you continue to believe that the aliens or the giants or gods built these pyramids, I feel sorry for you. When you go to YouTube channels, you will find all these as a topics for the videos on YouTube about the pyramids. I just give you a few, there are hundreds of them. Aswan Quarry Egypt, Lost ancient high-technology evidence. Egyptian pyramid machine cuts, basic info and introduction to lost ancient high technology. Is the Giza Pyramid an ancient boiling water nuclear reactor complex? The secret missions into the Great Pyramids. Egyptian pyramid machine cuts 2017 update, lost ancient high technology, textbooks debunked. Many examples of advanced precision cutting technology at Giza Plateau. Secret ancient history of pyramids, stone spheres and ancient advanced technology. The pyramid mystery. Pyramid secrets revealed. How Egyptians cut pyramid stones. The hidden secret uncovered. Great Pyramid, use energy in pyramids. The mystery resolved, pyramids of Giza incredible. Why the Great Pyramid of Giza is the most impossible structure ever built. What is the reason for creating a mystery behind every ancient thing? The Enlightenment, sometimes called the Age of Enlightenment, was an intellectual movement emphasizing reason, individualism and skepticism and started during the late 17th and 18th centuries. The Enlightenment presented a challenge to traditional religious views. Enlightenment thinkers were the liberals of their day. Enlightenment, or in French, Siècle des Lumières, literally the century of the enlightened, and in German, Aufklärung, was a European intellectual movement of the 17th and 18th centuries in which ideas concerning God, reason, nature, and humanity were synthesized into a worldview that gained wide assent in the West and that instigated revolutionary developments in art, philosophy, and politics. Central to Enlightenment thought were the use and celebration of reason, the power by which humans understand the universe and improve their own condition. The goals of rational humanity were considered to be knowledge, freedom, and happiness. Famous people in the period of the Enlightenment era: Adam Weishaupt, Albert Pike, Aleister Crowley, Alfred Russel Wallace, Annie Besant, Cecil Rhodes, Charles Darwin, Friedrich Nietzsche, Georg Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel, Helena Blavatsky, Immanuel Kant, John Stuart Mill, Karl Marx, Rockefeller's family, Rothschild's family, Sigmund Freud, Thomas More, Thomas Paine, Vladimir Lenin, Westcott Hort. Check them for yourself. Each one of them is in Wikipedia. All of them had one goal in mind, and that was to remove God as known in the Bible from the world system and establishing their own belief system, a humanist system based on the survival of the fittest. Nothing less and nothing more. I can actually prove to you that the moon landing is a lie. The fall of the Twin Towers was orchestrated by the US government, not Osama bin Laden. What about the dinosaurs? They continue trying to convince you that they are facts. No, they aren't, they are all lies. Goebbels once said, keep on telling people lies and eventually they will believe them as the truth. They make movies and documentaries to brainwash us, the people. But more on this later. The Bible says that Satan is the father of lies. So, it is up to you to believe these so-called clever guys or to find out more about what is the real truth. The next topic is, what happens to you after death?